Okay, we should be live. Are we
Yeah.
live?
Can you see comments though from here?
No.
Hold on. Maybe I'll pull up my computer at the same time since I'm running on multiple devices right now. It's not
Yeah, I have
working out well for me.
YouTube on here. Let's see.
It's giving Mr. Rogers. Okay. I'm gonna put you here. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Like we're probably live now, right?
Why can't we see anything though? Oh, wait. I see a live.
Oh, it looks like we're live. Oh my gosh, I see us.
Oh, do you? Wait,
Yeah.
I have to open it on here.
It's weird because I'm seeing us as a delay, but I'm seeing people saying hello. Hi,
Hello.
Destiny and Valerie and Maddie and Emilio, Morgan, Carrie. Yes, so they did hear me say that I look like Mr. Rogers right now, which is fine.
Okay, I see. Here we are.
Okay, I'm gonna put you here so I can see everything at the same time.
Whoa.
Balance on something. That'll work, right? Okay. People say we're killing them with teasers. Yes. It's true. Should we talk about why first?
Well,
oh gosh, you've got people all over. South Africa, Georgia.
That's amazing. Oh, afternoon tea. I love that.
I will admit, I never do this after 3 o'clock, but I am drinking coffee right now. I know. I know. It's been a rough week.
I know, it's been so busy. California, Oklahoma, New York, Denver. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, actually, I would love to know can you share where you're from? Just drop it in the comments.
Sweden, Texas.
I'm just gonna start nodding.
Break room.
I'm gonna start nodding if we've had arrests there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Another Oklahoma, in Iowa, Pittsburgh. So fun fact, Rue and I are not in the same state, even as each other.
It's not a fun fact, it's a sad fact. You refuse to be within 500 miles of me.
She went through this phase where she was sending me literal Zillow links of places she thought I could live near her.
It's true. It's true.
Texas, Argentina, oh my gosh. Scotland.
Oh, someone from Connecticut, which is where SOSA is based. Oh. Jordan's in the satellite office in Atlanta.
I am. Okay,
oh gosh, home. Mary says hi from Minnesota, and she's a monthly donor too. We really love our monthly donors. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why we love our monthly donors. Like, we had a board meeting yesterday, and what I have to do is do a strategic plan for 2025. And I can't plan how many ops we're going to do or what kind of work we're going to do unless we know we have financial projections. And having monthly donors, knowing we're getting X amount a month, really helps us to budget and plan for the year. So thank you so much.
Norway. Wow.
Well, why don't we explain what this is?
Yes.
You want to go? You want me to go?
So many of you probably have watched Undercover Underage, which is a show that we were part of that, followed our work, and that is on HBO Max. So basically it just tracks our team as we make decoys online, as we communicate with perpetrators who reach out. We work with law enforcement to facilitate arrests. We investigate. Rue does some wild things. Yeah, so a lot of people love that show. It was not renewed for a third season, but we decided to make our own show, and that is what is going to live on this channel. It's called SOSA Undercover, and it's still me and Rue and Becca, who you may remember. We're doing the same work as you've seen us do previously, but it's just on our own channel.
Yeah, and it's actually, we are picking up where Undercover Underage left off, and the people who produce Undercover Underage are actually also producing SOSA Undercover. This show, neither show would be around without either of them, so they really made it happen, and we're super grateful for them. So we're excited. It's going to live on YouTube. We do need a couple things in order for it to live on YouTube, and that includes making sure we have kind of like a substantial platform. So as you know, if you followed us on Instagram or if you followed us on TikTok. We've got 100,000 followers on Instagram. We've got almost 1 million followers on TikTok. YouTube, we're not there yet. We're at like 9,000 followers. So if you follow and you watch the teasers and the trailers and the clips we've posted, that really helps us become more established as a platform so we can start releasing episodes to you.
Oh, Shelby's in the chat. Hi, Shelby.
Hi, Shelby.
Aw. Okay, let's run through a couple of like basic FAQs. First of all,
and if you have questions, we'll drop them here and we'll try to keep up with them too.
People want to know where the episodes are going to live. And they're going to live on this YouTube channel. They're going to be posted on the same channel that you're watching this live on. Mm-hmm. And so that's why if you follow, then that's great. You'll be able to see stuff here. When will it come out, Rue?
Oh, good question. So what I can tell you is that it's Q1, which is not a very, sorry, I have this one piece of hair sticking out, and so we're just going to mess with it for a second. It's coming out Q1, which simply means either January, February, or March. I promise you it's not going to be January. So it's going to be February or March. And you might say, give us a date. Why can't you give us a real date? Because SOSA is made up of 6 full-time employees. I know because people have seen us on TV that maybe the thought is we're like a really big, really well-funded organization, and we're not. There's 6 of us with a budget that's smaller than our local libraries. And we're working with a production team, and we're doing this with spit and chewing gum on a real shoestring budget. So if you want those episodes to come sooner, the best way you can do that is by supporting and sharing the channel and liking and watching.
Just to like give context, one person is doing the majority of the editing for the show themselves.
Just one person. And that's unheard of. Like when there was a TV show, there was an entire team of editors, and it's one guy that's doing the majority of the editing. Will we be told what day and time? We do have a day, like what day of the week content will come out. Do you want to share that, Jordan?
So it'll be on Thursdays, and we're looking at every other Thursday for a brand new episode. But there will be lots of other kinds of content posted in the meantime. So
yeah, so just assume new.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that is interesting about like being on a TV network, which we were, you know, we were kind of in the middle of the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. And we're limited to a certain amount of minutes and a certain amount of content. And because we're creating our own YouTube channel, we can share a lot of the behind the scenes work, some of the nitty gritty. Like there are times where we're just kind of giving a quick overview of a perpetrator when there's like a lot of interesting, like rich content to share about the way they operate and what they were doing and their history and so on. So I think that'll be great because we'll be able to kind of dive into that more with like miniature episodes sporadically, or not sporadically, but miniature episodes peppered throughout.
Yes. One exciting thing that this season will have is Ariel Winter, who you may know from Modern Family. She has followed SOSA's work for a while, and she wanted to come and join an undercover operation, and she does that in this season. Really cool to be able to work with her. She's a decoy, which presents its own challenges. She's, very recognizable.
Yeah, she's been a great supporter of SOSA, so we're really happy to have her. And you'll see too that we have different things happening. So you last saw us in 2022. Like that was our ops in 2022. That's what you guys saw. But we have been doing ops all of 2023 and all of 2024. And so being able to share a little bit more of what goes into our operations, it's not just always like an Abby and a Mackenzie. We do a lot of different things. So you're going to see kind of just different parts of our undercover investigations, including using a boy decoy or talking really about trafficking and doing some trafficking stings as well.
That really ties in well to a question Olivia asked, which was like, what is one of the scariest or most disturbing things that happen in this season? Do you have a good answer to that?
We might have different answers.
Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
For me, and you see a little bit of this in the trailer if you watch the trailer, but there is somebody who showed up to purchase time with an 11-year-old, and he brought like a McDonald's Happy Meal with him, and just like, go ahead.
When we say purchase time, we mean like he was communicating with like what we would know as a pimp, and somebody was pimping out this 11-year-old girl, and he wanted to buy time with her, like you would buy time with a sex worker, and he was going to pay her pimp, and have sexual contact with her, which, you know, we
Like
know, of course,
negotiated the exact acts and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and the interesting part is that I actually was undercover as the bad guy for that one. So I was pretending to negotiate the sale of my foster child, which is unfortunately something that does happen. So yeah, that was super disturbing. I would say one of the disturbing things, and I don't think, like, just so you guys know, when you're on YouTube, just assume that there's a not suitable for work. There's a content warning happening here. But it was when there was a cyber tip for somebody who had CSAM. And so we did a search at his house, you know, took away devices, and he then admitted to it. And he said he was at a place where he was so addicted to CSAM that he could not be sexually gratified without it. And I thought that was like kind of jarring for me to hear for sure.
I think CSAM is just this huge, for people who don't know, child sex abuse materials, um, colloquially called child pornography. But it's this huge landscape that is just like so easy to access. I mean, you've
Mhm.
talked about how much it costs or how little it costs to purchase CSAM before.
Yeah, I mean, I've also gone undercover as somebody who's purchasing CSAM, and I'll talk to a seller, and I'm like, hey, you know, they assume that I'm a guy, which is all anonymous. Hey, I'm looking for content. They're like, oh, you're looking for XYZ. And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for ages 10 and under. Like, okay, yeah, I've got content ages 1 to 16. It's going to be about 200 videos, 500 images, something along those lines, for like $40, $35. And you can cash at me or PayPal me, and I'll send you the link to download it all. And for those of you who know about supply and demand, you know, I mean, these people are doing some pretty treacherous things online. Let's see. Da-da.
What time will the episodes come out? I don't think we have an exact time yet, but
Yeah.
TBD.
Yeah. Not yet.
Yes, we have a boy decoy on this season, so you'll get to see what that looks like.
Right, right. I would say too that when it comes to boy decoys, and people have asked us this from the beginning, but we've never, like, we've ran boy decoys before, and law enforcement also runs boy decoys. It's just that not all of our work can be shared within like a 40-minute episode, which is why you didn't see a lot of the stuff that we had on Undercover Underage. Who's on the new team? Well, so you're going to see like new episodes come out, and they're going to cover different ops. So I don't know if we'll necessarily call them different seasons. It's just as we're moving or as we're doing work elsewhere. Because we worked with law enforcement in different states, in Louisiana, in Georgia, and wherever. So you'll see some of those guys. We also have some full timers on the SOSA team that were a part. Becca, who you might remember from season 2, and also Oriana, who is a part of SOSA as well.
How many episodes will there be? So there'll be 6 or 7 full-length episodes for this, season. Lots of bonus content also. But we are, like we were saying, planning to run this year-round. So you're not going to have to wait a year between seasons on the channel.
What has been the scariest situation in the season? I mean, we had a couple weird moments where, you know, there were some takedowns and we're kind of waiting for them to come, and I'm outside, and that was, I would say, maybe the scariest moment last year was that high-speed chase we were part of.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because I was, you know, when I'm playing somebody or you're playing somebody, like, you and I are in our 30s and 40s, right? So we're obviously not teenagers, but the way that some of these operations go, like the pictures are edited or they're like faceless. And so if I'm outside, they just need to see somebody from far away, and then they show up. So at that point, I was walking towards a car, and it was a guy who was hoping to pick up like a 15-year-old and purchase time with her. And just the way it worked, like, some law enforcement were held up behind, and I'm walking, and you were in that call where I'm like, hey guys, I don't want to get in this car. Where is everyone? Let's go. because he's pulled up and the passenger's door is right there. And so finally one of the Vice guys pulls up and is like, hands in the air, and that guy just drove off. I get in the car. There's another car ahead that tries to pull him over. How long was the chase?
25 minutes, like literally 30 minutes.
It was so long because we were in like UC vehicles that didn't have lights. It was really, we were just bombing through red lights trying to get this guy. They ended up getting law enforcement from the next county over as well. And at one point there were how many, like 30
Literally.
police cars.
Yeah.
And they ended up having to throw out a spike strip in order for his car to kind of go, they blew out his tires, and that's how they got him. And he is in prison for a long time.
But we had like literally blown out our brakes. Just, I mean, it was
yeah,
crazy.
I was in like a Nissan Altima or something, like in a UC car. I'm like, this one, we could smell like things were burning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering the content you're exposed to, how do you take care of your own mental health? That's
good
great.
question. And again, we may have different answers. I would say I get offline a lot. Like, I don't want to be scrolling. I don't want to be on my phone a lot when I'm outside of work. I just want to have some screen-free, peaceful outside time.
Motion really helps me, even if I'm just like puttering around. I will find that if I'm really irritated or really bothered by what I've seen lately, I become irritated in different facets of my life. Like sensory things become even more heightened and like more frustrating. And so I'll often do noise canceling headphones, and I do a lot of like box breathing. I have a yoga bolster that I kind of rest on. I read. I know you read
really
too.
Like arts and crafts. You're like kind of.
Yeah, honestly, I would say like I really try not to be near a screen. And I especially don't want to do that thing where I'm like sitting on the couch holding the small screen while I'm watching the big screen. Yeah. Yeah, and I think spending like having some things baked in helps. Like I know when you and I, the last op we went on, like it was a couple stressful days. We had trial, I testified, and we were watching like because my ring checks my stress levels, and that my stress was through the roof. And then the next day we had that really big arrest. And I think we did something that I thought was like very healing for me, and is that you and I just picked out like a pretty restaurant to have a really nice meal in, and we sat and we had dinner and we chit chatted, not necessarily about work. And then we went to our hotel rooms and we had adjoining rooms, and I read a book like for a couple hours. Like I got into my PJs and I read a book. I actually read I finished The Women by Kristen Hanna on that trip. And that was really nice. I think having those moments of reprieve where like, yes, this is the work that we do, and yes, I'm passionate about it, and yes, we're committed to it, but we do other things as well. And I think that is what helps me show up to work every day.
I agree. I like that.
Let's see. With y'all being, okay, I love this question because you know exactly the scenario. I know what scenario you'll think of when I read this.
Okay.
With y'all being so public, how do you guys go about not being recognized when you're doing these busts? I've always wondered how with you guys having a show.
Well, it's easier than you might think. We have told this story on other platforms before, but there's this one situation where both Rue and I had decoys, and we were both talking to this one perpetrator, and he got arrested. And then Rue and I were both at the arrest after he was in custody, and we were talking with him. And he was like, yeah, I was really worried about those two girls in the chat because I think they're from the show Undercover Underage.
And he's staring at us.
Yeah, he's saying this to Rue's face. And I mean, I just like am so proud of the way we just kept our composure during that moment. But
I was like, really? He's like, yeah, there's 2 seasons, I think on Netflix maybe. And I was like, Max, actually.
So the answer is like context makes a big difference, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even Ariel Winter, who has a very recognizable face considering her years on Modern Family and just like her online presence in general, that was not an issue. I've never had somebody say, oh, you're that girl from that show, I'm done, or hey, you are that girl that does those things. I think a lot of it is context, a lot of it is digital editing, and a lot of it is, I feel like a lot of these guys are face blind because for so many of them it's a numbers game. They're just talking to so many girls. We've had it where a guy came and talked to me and then he like ghosted. This was season 1. And then he came back and he wanted to talk to, like, I was operating as a different decoy. I just put on a different color wig and I talked to him for like another week. He did not recognize me. It was just me with like different hair, and that's it.
Oh
And so part of it, I think, is for them, it is a numbers game. When you travel, are you able to cover the team's expenses? So when we talk about the cost of doing an op, we talk about the cost of like renting a house or getting the material, making sure we have enough phones, having service plans for those phones, having, you know, Kevlar vests, having getting to and from. So sometimes we have a rental car and then there are flights and whatever. And so that is part of the cost of the op. We're all employees of SOSA, so that is something that we do have to, that's part of the cost. Now, granted, again, we do this pretty, like, there was one op we did that we won't do it like this again, but we had very little money and we just wanted to get this little op done. And it was just me and Jordan, which was a bad idea because that's a lot of evidence to go through ourselves. Just me and Jordan in this slightly sketchy Airbnb. And not only was it the decoy house, but we also slept in it. So we were sleeping in the decoy beds, which when we talk about mental health, like, we won't.
Terrible. Terrible. We were effective though. We did a good job. Oh, this is a good point. Jen, our team member, makes this. Rue is the only one on the team who testifies in court. Nobody else has to testify because she's overseeing, even if somebody else is like messaging as a decoy, she's overseeing that entire process.
Yes. Testifying is another beast entirely.
I mean, you're doing it so often, it feels like.
Yeah, it's interesting because you were there. There are times where this happens. So Jordan was there when it was a preliminary hearing and I had to testify. And it was really nice having you there because it was like a familiar face I can look out to, especially because the perpetrator is sitting like right in front of you and I don't want to make eye contact with him. So I'm just like kind of looking past him and making eye contact with you. But I testified for 90 minutes for that one. And it was just so long because you're on the stand for a long time. And then there's the cross-examination. And then they're trying to kind of catch you in not like a lie, but they're trying to cast doubt. And you have to be mindful of those tricks. And there are some times, like this last one, where I show up to court and they're kind of hoping that the witness doesn't show. Mm-hmm. And so I walk, and this is like a colossal waste of time and money, is that like I walk in and they go, okay, never mind, we're waiving this. I'm like, oh. There is something nice about walking into a room and someone's like,
never mind.
But at the same time, it was like one of those, damn, this could have been an email.
You went through all that stress and preparation and then,
Yeah.
Oh, Allie asked, what social media sites do all these people come from?
So, oh my gosh.
Literally anything you can think of where you can like send a message. I mean, we've seen people on coloring book apps, a makeup app, the Bible app, anything really anything.
Words with friends. Yeah, like Pictionary. So my kids are actually older than they were in season 1, which, so they actually do watch the show. Well, my oldest one definitely does. So my kids I have teenagers and they know the dangers of being online. And so they haven't watched every episode. I think some of the episodes are a little too like, but my girls are generally, they're kind of sensitive. Like they're more of, they're like Pride and Prejudice, Brooklyn Nine-Nine girlies, as opposed to like, look at this horrible thing that's happening. Yeah. But we do have lots of conversations about it.
Well, I mean, you say all the time that's the biggest thing you can do to like protect a kid is to help them feel safe and to build that trust in that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, even like they know that they can come to me. They can come to me and ask me a question, and she came, so now she has to be a part. I'm sorry. Now you're here. There was one time where it was like, hey, I got this weird text, Mom. Like, what is this? We should call the police. And I look at it. I'm like, okay, well, this is spam. So just block it.
Right.
But I felt good that they were like willing to raise their hand and go, hey, something's wrong here.
Yeah, absolutely. Shelby says face blindness. The new season will be on YouTube, the same channel that we're doing the live from. So if you're subscribed here, that's great.
Oh, will the high speed chase be in this season? No, but I think we put it on Instagram.
It's on, yeah. if you go look at SOSA's Instagram Reels, it's SOSA Together, at SOSA Together, then you'll see it there.
This is a great question from Mike. Have you ever had pushback on a sting from law enforcement? So we actually will not do an op unless, sorry, second cat, unless we have law enforcement buy-in. So it's not one of those things where we'll like do an op and then just submit evidence to police and like hope for the best. If we are doing an op, it's because we already have a partnership with law enforcement. We've already talked to the DA's office. We already know the rules of engagement and the requirements for prosecution. So that is not a concern.
In fact, they've come to us and said, hello, would you like to do an op with us? And so they're on board from the beginning.
Remember when she was so small, Jordan?
She was like scary small. And now she's huge.
She's enormous. Yeah, she's just a unit, an
Doesn't
absolute unit.
She eats Mochi's food, right?
Yeah, she tries to, yeah. You mentioned trafficking already. What other charges did ACMs have this upcoming season? Oh gosh, great questions. I mean, there were trafficking charges, CCM charges, lewd and indecent behavior with minor charges. We have one guy who's looking at, 25 to life, including probation, but that's still a really long sentence.
Yes.
Yes, I do have. Yes, I do have a chunky cat.
All right, let's go through again. The episodes will be on this channel. We don't have an exact date yet for when they'll air, but it's in the next 2 months or so. And the more we can build up this channel, the sooner we'll be able to get that to you. And let's see what else. Am I forgetting something? Oh, subscribe to this channel.
Yeah, just hit just follow us like you would follow on Instagram or TikTok. And if you could watch the videos that we're already posting, because in order to really launch, we need to have a decent following, and following includes like, have they watched your videos? How many views do you have, etc. So just like with TikTok or Instagram as well.
Emma has a good question. Do we get the N for some of these ACMs, like the prisoner?
So I will say this: 2022 is when season 2 came out. It is now 2025, and I'm still testifying in these trials. Like, unfortunately, the wheels of justice sometimes turn very slowly. So I'm trying to think.
That being said, we do post updates on sentencing on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, like,
I would say most of those 22 arrests, those cases have been adjudicated, which I think this is a good time to share that, like, right now our
conviction rate.
Right now our conviction rate is 100%. So 100% of adjudicated cases have resulted in a guilty verdict.
That's a big deal. That's like huge.
And I think that's also what separates us from these other groups that are out there.
Yes.
And I know that there's like a desire to do this, and I understand like the desire for vigilantism and justice, but what we do differently is that we're really able to see these people serve time.
Rue, have we encountered a woman ACM?
No, and not for lack of trying. It's just that women ACMs are really not common, and we hear this from law enforcement that we work with as well. If a woman is a predator, she's not necessarily trolling online. She is harming kids that she's met in real life, kids that she knows in person. That's when we see the dynamic of like teacher student or like youth pastor or whatever, or family friend, that sort of thing.
And this is even when we have boy decoys, to be clear.
Yes, correct. So even like if we have boy decoys, it's still men reaching out to those boy decoys.
Yes.
And it's important to note that kids are targeted irrespective of gender or sexuality.
Absolutely.
Okay, what do you think? Should we call it?
Yeah, I think so.
This is good.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We can do this again and answer more questions. And I know you guys are just like, we just want to see episode 1, and we hear you. We can't get that out without your help. So please hang around, watch a couple videos, send them to a couple friends.
We're trying to post clips pretty much every weekday at around 4 or 5 Eastern. And so every time we do, please watch it, comment, let us know what you think. This
is a great time. You know how sometimes moms, like your moms, not yours, but like your moms, if they're on Facebook and they're posting like memes of like minions drinking coffee, drive that energy towards, I told my mom, I'm like, hey, We want to launch this. We need to have a more of a substantial presence in order to do so. When I say she called up like every Filipino she knows and was like, I need you to like this channel. And then she watched every video and like
Amazing.
a lot of views are Lola putting in the work.
And we love her for that. We do.
Yeah. So,
okay.
thank
you
you so much.
Thank you.
Reach out to us on Instagram at SOSA Together. We're also on TikTok, YouTube. And our website is sosatogether.org. If you'd like to donate, we would love to have you as a donor.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.